Capricorn, I tried to do your reading just now and I had to stop and get rid of some stuff, but the actual, you know, long and the short of your reading up until that point was that you were feeling kind of frustrated about not being able to integrate your own self-worth in some way into some project that you might be working on. You were putting something together. Anyway, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Not really, just start over, but just know that that's the pre-read, I suppose. Yep, here's storms. Sorry, don't mind my nails. I really need to do them. Storms in the reverse, meaning you're kind of smooth sailing right now. This is number 13 in the reverse. Something is like not even hard for you. It's like you have this many different items in the air and you're just like easily just like it's almost like I'm seeing helicopter, like chopper. Yeah. Here's etheric chords coming out. I don't know why this wanted to go this way, but it does. So this is number 27 in the upright. This is very much like divine mother, but in a very like protective way. You could be like working on protection of some type or protecting yourself against something, your family. Yeah, it's almost like you're being a helicopter parent. That's a good way to put it. Not in a bad way. That's not necessarily always a bad thing. It just has to do with it's like, look, you don't even like doing it. That's the truth. Look, here's the truthfulness. Number 34. But then there's also number 11 in the reverse, meaning there's like not really a lot of, you don't take pleasure in having to do whatever it is that this is that you're doing. Truth. So I'm going to elaborate using the Oracle deck just out of pure plain curiosity. Okay, survival in the reverse, meaning, yeah, you don't even feel like you would survive if this was a real storm to you. I almost feel like your knee-jerk reaction is whatever this is. That's what I feel like. I think you are likely to like it's almost this vibe of you want to cut something off before it even gets to that point. You know what I mean? Or like you want to just not cut it off like in a permanent way, but just like you just get rid of it. Yeah, look, I swear, this is exactly the way those cards just fell out on top of it. This is partnerships and love, number 2. And this is life force energy with Aphrodite, number 45. That's what I'm talking about. Is like out of love, out of a place of concern and care. You almost just don't even want to deal with something. Sometimes like it doesn't you don't want the storm that comes along with it. You don't want to feel like you're in survival mode all the time. You want to have some type of like stability. And even though this is like a single parent home, both of these children are divinely protected by her halo, which I feel like in this specific case, yeah, like is like very loud. I don't know why I almost felt like I started talking more loudly or clearly or whatever. Yeah, here's risk. This is number 43 coming out with number 11. So it's kind of like you were missing a piece of information and it's now coming to you. It's been a risk for you to investigate this or to look into it, but it was part of seeing the truth, which is at the bottom of the deck, right? You needed to know what was going on so that you could truthfully use your gifts in a productive way. This is gifts number 6, joy guides. You had to kind of know how to maneuver. Okay. Like, you know how they tell you to check out all the exits when you first enter a building if you want to be like vigilant of your surroundings? That's the same intuitive thing that is going on here. There's it's almost sometimes I thought, well, this to me, this is the case. Okay, this is number 42. by the way. In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, yes, I'm bringing it up again. You don't know where the dolphins are going. They're just leaving. They didn't actually tell you where they were going because they don't want you to go with them. It's not about getting your feelings hurt. It's just about like, dang, y'all really messed this planet up and we don't want to be a part of that anymore. So we're leaving. And of course we wouldn't leave a forwarding address. Okay? It's like that. It's about knowing that your gifts are going to be taken by Hedwig. That owl is going to come pick up the message and it will be delivered where it needs to be delivered, when it needs to be delivered, how it needs to be delivered, because it needs to be delivered at that specific delivery time, space, all that. That's kind of what this is. Love and partnership and Aphrodite just falling out like that on the table, not normal. Nope, that's not normal. So there is like a lot of sustenance right here, but I feel like it's also coming in with all types of vengeance. It's like this shall not be tampered with. Look, there's a breakthrough right there. Just sitting there staring, breakthrough. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. If this is not I'm taking this card, by the way, for right there. Okay. If that's not this is like in your face. If it ever had a face, okay, this thing that you're doing, that's right there. Its face is right there. There's blessings, and then there's earth sign in reverse. So you could be dealing with an earth sign that's like not received these blessings yet, or these are coming. It's gonna be past, present, future energies. I don't know, Capricorn. You could be this upside down earth sign. Maybe you don't feel like you're getting the blessing of partnership and love or Aphrodite or something. Maybe you're having a tower moment. Maybe it's the opposite way around. Maybe you don't really feel all that much. Maybe you have highly aspected water in your chart or not so much earth. Maybe your sun sign is earth. That's about it. It depends. Let's see what this bravado is all about. Number 41 is pyramids in the reverse. So yeah, for some people, these etheric chords are loudly not being made, right? And number 27, number 41, and the pyramid is what we've got here. I don't know if those numbers mean something to somebody. Yeah, there was this blessing energy that was like, not for the weak of faint of heart. It's almost like, when people are like, speaking tongues. I don't speak in tongues, but I'm just saying, like, they're like, bless you, and the person falls out and has convulsions and stuff. Like, some people really understand what it's like to experience the Holy Ghost, Other people don't really get that. And that's okay. That's what this is, though. It's like the experience of having traveled astrally. Let me give you a different comparison point, right? Or having been through a ritual, a holy ritual with water where you're baptized, like maybe you're dunked under, maybe you take communion where you get, you take holy water and cross yourself. I don't know. Different religions are going to have different water references, obviously. But in the grand scheme of life, that is relevant. So this risk not being something that's like actually emotionally appealing makes sense spiritually speaking. So if you're taking a risk, you don't want it to be an emotional one that's not a pleasure to go through. Why would I do something that doesn't feel good emotionally and it's really risky? Truthfully, that's the comparison point. That's like the reflection that someone is looking at. I think it's also this. Because when I look at these two, they're suddenly the same, kind of. It's an hourglass. It's like a sand of time. It's time space travel, or It's like going through a wormhole. You don't know what's going to be on the other side. Could be pure love, pure partnership, pure Aphrodite energy, and nobody would know. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Okay, just kidding. Yes. Well, there's the Earth sign in the upright. Maybe you are dealing with an Earth sign, Capricorn. I don't know. That's at the top of the read here, though. Comes after, like, maybe there's a kind of non-emotional Earth sign right now. I don't think it means non-emotional. I think it means not taking the risk without the pleasure, okay? And that's okay. This intuitive gifts, it's knowing how you're able to contribute and also knowing that you can't always be a giver. Sometimes it's important to be more of a receiver. I don't like to say taker because it's just so harsh. Taker. I said it. Just said it. What now? Right. Change the energy. Transmute. Change your skin. Train this. The skin that you're in is like important for you to love because if you don't, you know, you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. Sometimes I'm not a huge fan of skin that I'm in, but neither is everybody. Everybody has like a flaw that they don't like about themselves, or everyone can find, like, if you have a tiny little zit, you feel like it is like the size of the next planet that's going to be discovered. Okay. It's colossal, or I don't know. It's about understanding that everybody has flaws, ones that are seen and unseen, but that you also have a spiritual self, a seen and unseen spiritual self. And it depends on how much you want to interact with any part of any of those aspects of yourself. What are you talking about? I mean, like, we all have a masculine and a feminine side. I'm a woman. I'm a female. That's just, that is what it is. However, if I wanted to wear a tomboyish outfit, I could do that. How much I want to do that, that's totally up to my discretion, It's my choice. But that's what I'm trying to say. Any aspect of your personality, do I want to be more of a chef? Maybe I could be more, do I want to be more of a housewife? Do I want to be more of like an outdoors lady? You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that you can do in life. So you don't have to be limited. And I think this portal to self understanding, this is kind of powerful energy. Like this is love and partnership, and this is life force coming out to you. They just flopped out together. You rewind it. It's pretty potent energy in a good and a bad way. So I think the more integrity you can go into it with, being like, these are my flaws and these are my strengths. Don't bother with what other people think about you. That's none of your business. Just generally speaking. Plus, it's a waste of time. Anyway, I think that's it, Capricorn. I think you get the gist. I think you get the gist.